Yeah, Nima was the perfect match for it. Nima comes from the commercial / music video world. He's a London-based director. He had never done a feature before, but some of his work that we'd seen, particularly those Adidas commercials that he did, obviously lend themselves to the style of what Project X is. But more than just kind of his work, it was also in meeting with Nima and talking to Nima about the kind of movie we wanted to make tonally, which is such a big part of a director's job. He seemed to really get it. And I think the movie works as a whole. There are things in it that I think are really crazy, and there are things in it. I mean, to me, it's a movie. It's funny, but it's more crazy than it is even funny. It's just like, what the is going on in this movie, which I kind of like about it. It's not a straight out comedy, quite honestly. It's really just a movie about a few bad decisions and things spiraling out of control, which is always fun to document. Luckily for me, my first two movies were Road Trip and Old School, and both of those movies were produced by Ivan Reitman, who I owe a great deal to, who of course is a director in his own right. So I learned a lot from the way Ivan handled me on those first two movies and gave me room to stumble, to succeed, to whatever, but I'll let that happen. And I really learned a lot in how to dealing with a new director in my own right. So it's very much of like, you don't want to step on toes. You want to be there when you're needed and for the decisions that are needed and for the support that's needed. But you also want, and I certainly wanted, Nima to make the film. I know how important it is for a movie to have a point of view, and a movie is always going to be ultimately the point of view of a director. Yeah, what I really always responded to about the movie was that the movie isn't even about the nerds. We've seen a million movies about the nerds, but more likely in high school situations is this film's really about the anonymous guys. It's like they're not even the nerds. They're not this, they're not that. They're just sort of three guys at school that nobody really notices. And it's very much about, like, what Costa says in the film is, we need a game changer. There's something wrong here. They're just those kind of invisible kids, is what they feel, by the way. I don't know that's true in the story, but what they feel as 17-year-old boys going to this school is they are almost just so anonymous and so invisible, and they really just wanted to sort of make a name and take a stand and make a change. And I don't know, I think that's pretty relatable, because I think most people actually in high school fall into that group as opposed to fall into the jocks or the nerds or the this or the that. Most people really fall into sort of just or at least feel just kind of anonymous, and I think that's what was interesting about it. I think what you can expect when you go see Project X is the unexpected. As cliche as that sounds, it is a totally crazy, is a documentation of a totally crazy night where, a couple decent guys made some really bad decisions, and what comes from that.